fighter of the year, who you give it to and why? And
all right. So first of all, with each of these categories, we want to state beforehand the kind of criteria that we were going on when we were kind of choosing that.
Okay.
So with Fight of the Year, we're thinking about their activity in the year, kind of major wins that they've had, including any kind of big
names.
Yeah,
stuff.
so major wins include
and the performance,
like mains, how you perform in there, and also any like if you have cleaned out a division, for example, and become undisputed or things of that nature. So that is our criteria that we're using for Fight of the Year, and I'll give you each of the different criteria for the different categories. So we haven't talked about this, so this is going to be the first time that we've heard these discussions. I made sure. So I will say that my Fighter of the Year might be a little bit surprised, but I'm going with Teofimo Lopez.
Okay, that's a good name.
He went from Prospect of the Year to Fight of the Year. And I'm going to tell you why. So one is he fought 4 times this year. He had 3 wins by KO, and he had 1 unanimous decision. He became a champion for the first time, or I should say maybe a title holder. And I like the fact that he didn't earn it. It wasn't this vacant championship that he went and that they had, and they just decided, hey, let's grab these 2 guys. No, he went and fought a champion who had defended his belt.
Respected, too.
A respected champion. And because of his performance, everything that he had to weather, he was active, fought 4 times. He put in good performances, knocked out 3 of his 4 opponents, became a champion, beat a champion.
And calling out Lomachenko. Calling out
Lomachenko, getting through his family drama, regrouping. I'm going to give my Fight of the Year for 2019 to Teofimo Lopez.
Teo definitely deserve it. However, I do have a different pick, but I see where you're coming from. Teo definitely deserve it. So basically, we're going to give our list, and next show, we're not going to talk about it. We're just going to announce what we agree. We're going to have to both come to an agreement next show, all right? So for the moment, I'm going to state is Errol Spence for me, because Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia, and he fought him on pay-per-view, you know what I mean? And he made Mikey look horrible because it was supposed to be his Duran moment. I mean, he even had Sugar Ray. Sugar Ray said Mikey is going to perform a Duran on Errol Spence, and I was just heartbroken, man. I'm like, man, I know Errol Spence was too, because that's a guy he looked up to. His favorite fighter, I believe he stated at one point. So for Sugar Ray to say something like that was a shocking to me. And then he came out later on after Errol Spence said, how come our own people don't support us? You know, he took it back saying, I never said that, where you clearly did on an interview, but it is what it is. So obviously the way he performed against Mikey Garcia was just a beauty. He showed that he could box. He more than just a banger. He showed his boxing skill. And one thing for sure, he fought Muhammad Ali style, which is that, pretty boy, move around, box beautifully, vary your offense and defense, and that's what he did for the first 4 rounds. And then he turned it up on Mikey Garcia. He let him know, I'm coming with that Mexican style on Texas, baby. So he turned it up on Mikey and took him to school both ways. I believe if he would have selected his shots a little bit better, and he probably could have stopped him. But I don't even see him performing better than he did against Mikey, because that was such a beautiful performance, and you can't critique it, period. So it's just credit to Mikey, because Mikey was not looking to win. He was looking to survive. So I'm going to state that. That's why Errol Spence didn't KO him, in my opinion. So moving on. Then he fought Sean. I got to point it out. Yeah. He fought Sean Porter on the guy that people claiming could beat Terence. The people that claiming Porter beat Terence Crawford is a stylistically bad matchup. Guess what? Errol Spence fight Porter, and guess what? He fought him at his own game. He told him, I got more dog than you during the face-to-face. And guess what happened fight night? He did not retract one word, because he did exactly what he stated leading up to the fight. And that's going straight to Porter and beating him at his own game. Floyd Mayweather used to say, I'm going to beat you at your own game. Errol Spence that's exactly what he's doing. He's showing these fighters that, you know what, regardless of what you bring to the table, I'm not going to beat you at my own game. If you're a brawler, I'm going to box you. Nah. If you're a boxer, I'm going to box you. If you're a brawler, I'm going to brawl you. So I believe Errol Spence earned the Fighter of the Year because of that, and he wants all the smoke. He wants the smoke with Terence, even after an accident. He wanted the smoke with Danny. Because of the table turn, now Danny willing to sit with him and eat with him, and now he wanted to fight with Pacquiao. So, like I said, you really can't go wrong with either one. But I believe Errol Spence earned it a little bit more.
Right.
What the comments say?
So let's
who
go.
they agree with?
A lot of people. Well, I ain't gonna say a lot. A couple of people they feel that Wilder is so Wilder. So I'm gonna give you my reasons, and then if you want to offer in our
Who said that?
A couple of them. Skills from New Orleans.
They said
shout
Wilder?
out to him. Yeah, to get Wilder.
Yeah,
and
Wilder
then
too.
Ronald
Wilder
Finkley.
did great. Wilder fought
I did,
Ortiz.
So this is my reason. So Wilder, he fought twice. The first fight was against Dominic Brazil, who was
he
like
slept him.
He slept him, but it's like who hadn't slept him? You know, in
Only
this sense.
AJ, and AJ took him 6 rounds. Like, so it's only one person that slept him. So
Well,
like,
I mean, as far as top heavyweights, I don't look at Dominic Brazil. I can't think of a really good win.
but Ortiz is a great name.
Ortiz is a good name, but that's one name, and then so he didn't necessarily pick up a strap. So the reason I gave it to Teofimo, I said because he was active. He fought 4 times. He had 3 knockouts, and he actually added on, to it because he grabbed a belt. He beat a champion who had defended the belt. And I'm not saying like this. It's a good argument. Wilder had some performances, but if he would have maybe had another fight and fought another top guy, and then he did sleep somebody, but he also slept somebody that he already slept before.
Yeah, I agree. Look, I agree with some of the things that you say. However, I disagree with the fact, like, okay, obviously Lopez had more fights, but he's a contender. I mean, Wilder, on the other hand, he's a champion, so he can't really fight that many times a year.
He can fight other champions.
He fought his mandatory. He wasn't even supposed to fight. He wasn't even supposed to fight Brazil. He was supposed to fight Tyson Fury. But it ain't Wilder fought that Tyson Fury said absolutely not. So, like I said, at the end of the day, Wilder did what he was supposed to, get rid of his opponent, that bug that was on his ear, and he knocked out Brazil, then knocked out Ortiz because he said he want to clear up all these rematches. However, you stick with Tio, I stick with Errol. Some of the fans stick with Wilder. Wilder is definitely a candidate of Fighter of the Year. Ain't no doubt about it. I mean, he a top 3 candidate, matter of fact. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up a call that my man just called. So I got to make sure I call my man back because I promised him I will. So like I said, I'm receiving a lot of calls and we got to keep the show moving. So you could state some of the comments to
so Skills from New Orleans said Tio is a great choice, but Wilder's something special. Sean Johnson said
so nobody picking Errol in the comment section.
Omar Hamilton has Wilder's hands down.
Message for
Sean Johnson, speaking about Lopez, said he had all the family drama in the midst of all those fights. He gives props for that. Augustin Delgado said Wilder best at heavyweight, Spence best at 147. Spence got too much going for him to lose to Crawford. I think Spence can. Tio faced one top fighter. You contradicting yourself.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, I think everybody, I would say Wilder only really faced one top fighter. Also, and that top fighter was a champion who had defended his belt, and it was kind of a pick 'em fight, and he stopped him in the second.
All right,
round.
well, I'm gonna move on to the next topic because
thanks for your comments. Though, absolutely. So it seems like overwhelmingly Wilder is the choice.
For real, we might have to go with Wilder then, because you gotta go with fans sometimes. But obviously, Wilder did do great. I ain't even think about Wilder like that, but obviously he's a candidate and top 3 for sure. So he probably deserved that spot for sure. Let me pick up the call real quick. My man, hold on. Let me connect it first. So, AkHi, how you doing, fam? State your name and where you calling from.
Peace.
This is Juice of Life from Fresno, California.
All right, how you doing, fam?
West Side?
Good.
What's goody? What's goody?
Yeah, I was just gonna talk about the Fighter of the Year. I wanted to give Errol Spence the Fighter of the Year But me personally, thinking about it, to be fair and to be honest, I think that the person that deserves the fight of the year, you're probably not gonna guess this, or you're probably not gonna expect me to say this, but I think that Josh Taylor deserves the fight of the year.
Josh Taylor. Hey, listen.
Wow.
Josh Taylor is a candidate as well.
Unexpected.
Because Josh Taylor, he came out of nowhere. Like, he wasn't even expected to win the, what they call it, the AkHi Trophy or whatever the tournament called, the the Super Six or whatever. He came in, as far as I know, Regis was supposed to win that. And then he came out of nowhere, and from day one, as soon as I laid my eyes on him, I was like, this dude gonna be in the finals. And he sure did, and he won the AkHi Trophy. So the way he performed and the way he carried himself as a champion, he's definitely a candidate. And for sure, he will fight. If he fight Terence Crawford, that's one fight I'm looking forward to. But yeah, finish your thoughts, AkHi.
Yeah, I probably agree with you. I was actually going for Regis Prograis, and I knew that it was gonna be a hard fight if Regis Prograis fought right. But the thing that I don't like about Regis Prograis, he has the same mentality that Terence Crawford has, and that's what would make that fight good to me. Because
what is
he
that?
has the mindset like I'm great and I have the skills, and like he's very confident in himself. And lets the confidence get to his head. Yeah. So what Regis does is he leaves his guard open too much. He's good at slipping punches, but when you're fighting somebody like Josh Taylor and the judges are looking at you slip punches and you're moving around the ring, sometimes those punches that he slipped, they count those as punches. Mm-hmm. So if you're going to slip punches, you got to slip punches, and you got to make sure that you can see there's space between your head and the punch that you slid. Yeah. But what he likes to do, he likes to be cute, and he likes to try to do like how Ali does when he slips his punches, and he's doing it like Neo from the Matrix. That's the best example to give you.
He has to keep his guard up a little bit more. I mean, as far as the Crawford comparison, obviously Crawford has better instinct, but he obviously doesn't have the instinct of Teddy Atlas. The fact that he said he has the best instinct of ever, because that's Roy Jones or Ali or Floyd Mayweather. That ain't Crawford, in my opinion. All the respect to Crawford, he don't have the best instinct. I seen better. However, he does have better instinct than Regis, and better reflexes and better defense. So I will say that will come into play if he do fight a Taylor. However, Taylor, when he was fighting Regis, man, them short hooks that he was throwing, he was comfortable in the pocket. Like I said, he could box, but he showed that he could fight in the inside as well. He could in the kitchen cook. You know what I mean? He was cooking, and Regis was trying to cook with him, but that night he was the better chef. So yeah, I definitely agree with you. Any last thoughts before we hop into the next award?
I was just going to ask you this. What do you think about, because I heard a rumor of Regis going up to 147 because he lost that tournament.
I mean, it should be the right decision, unless he could land the Mikey Garcia fight or a big fight at 140. If not, then the best idea is to move up to 147, because there's better competition, there's bigger names, and there's more money to make. And he already lost to the best guy at 140. So, like, you the second best at 140, because anybody that didn't join the tournament when it was available for everybody, obviously you didn't want the smoke with everybody, because, like I said, if you didn't join the tournament, then you already counted yourself out of being the best at 140, because that tournament was to clarify who is the best at 140, and that's Taylor at the moment.
Yeah, I agree with you, but yeah, I don't know, man. I don't think that he's ready to go up to 147. I think that how he fights, if he doesn't get his defense up and he doesn't box right, I think that he'll get washed right now. And they're stronger up there at 147 than at 140.
Yes, sir.
There's way more knockout artists at 147. So
yeah, but
that's my thoughts. And also another good fight for him. A prove-it fight for him would be Sharon Ennis. That would be a beautiful fight.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that'd be a great fight. But like you said, one thing, it might not be the best idea in the world, but listen, Regis got all the heart in the world. One thing for sure, you know, he doesn't lack heart. So if you want to move up to 147 and challenge himself, I believe that's maybe that's the best way to go about it, to land these big fights, because it's going to be hard for him to land a lot of these big fights at 140. But I appreciate you for calling in. You could call in at the end of the show when we have the call-in segment. For right now, we about to hop into the next topic. And so I appreciate you for calling in, AkHi.
Okay.
And,
So while you do that and get that ready, I just want to give a couple of shout outs to people. So